Hello again, welcome to another edition of CropLife Retail Week. Paul Schrimpf here with Eric Sfiligoj.
First of 2020.
The first time.
We are seeing very clearly.
It's actually, we're recording this because it's later in the week, just because of the way it fell. We're actually after the New Year, so.
Well, yeah, but
New Year's celebration was subdued at home. It was nice. Both kids were away. We just kind of hung out.
Yeah, same here. That was nice. So.
Nice and quiet. So there was that. And it was good because we're getting ready for a bunch of travel. January's busy for all of us. I know you got a Wisconsin show, and then you're going to Illinois.
Yep.
And then next week I'm going to the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. Yeah. Which makes me nauseous because I can't.
To any viewers we may have in Las Vegas, Paul does really like the town.
I hate the town. I hate Las Vegas, and I hate staying there. But I have to, and well, actually, the main reason I'm going is to see what John Deere is doing this year. This is their second year of exhibiting there, so I'll see what kind of things they're telling the consumer public. I think they're trying to get across the fact that farming is, about technology and all the cool things that are going on, which, that's a cool message to deliver. I think people should understand, companies should understand how much technology is influencing farming today. Which that'll be a good thing.
Is this show at the convention center in Vegas?
It is it takes over the city essentially. Okay. So yeah, if I were getting a hotel room this week in Vegas, it would be about $75. Next week is about $250.
Nice.
So love that town. So I'm spending as little time as I possibly can. They're going to spend the day before night, and then come back the next night.
Well, do take some pictures, Paul. I'm sure the viewers would love to see your adventures in Vegas.
Yeah, one of the of course glamorous parts of being in the media, we get free passes, but then you get put on a list which then puts you in the churn for everything you could possibly imagine. So I've gotten, Commodity Classic, we think you get a lot of emails.
Yeah, we do get a lot.
I get about 30 a day.
Wow.
From people from companies at CES trying to ask me to stop by their booths, and I've seen maybe 5 that I'm interested in.
I was going to say, are these even companies we would be interested in?
No, a lot of them are. I mean, most of them are peripheral to ag. Very 95% of them, and the other 4% have probably a little bit of tie, and maybe another 1% have something that's really related to agriculture. So we'll see. I'm gonna walk around, see what I can find out, and check out the Deere booth.
Okay.
Tour that for a while. So that should be fun. And then of course the Vision Conference is the week after. So we'll talk more about that next week. But that's all coming up. There's still time to register for that if you're interested. Thevisionconference.com is the website. But that should be exciting as well. So you want to talk about more of your travel stuff, or you got news?
Oh,
we got news, right?
We actually have some news. Yeah, actually, Paul, I know at the end of last year we actually had recorded in sort of one batch our video, so we did overlook the story that broke just before Christmas. But I know, Paul, back at the ARA show when we had our State of the Industry Roundtable, a lot of people were talking about the whole debate regarding glyphosate and what's going on there. And some folks at the table had mentioned that they thought it would be nice if other folks started speaking up on behalf of glyphosate. And lo and behold, Paul, that has now happened. Back on December 21st, the EPA and the Justice Department filed a Friends of the Court brief on the first glyphosate lawsuit in California, basically saying that according to government regulations and research, that no warning label should be required on glyphosate, and that the verdict in the case against Bayer in California should be tossed out. So,
yeah, that's interesting. I mean, didn't we say that at PACE? We pretty much said
been saying this for a long time.
Back in October, it would be really great if the government came out and pounded their fist instead of lightly agreeing with the industry, but actually saying, why are you insulting our decades of research? So maybe they're finally getting to that point where they're going to shake their fist. I think that's interesting. There was something I saw too in the news about the approach to the lawsuit was because the data was so strong that it wasn't a carcinogen, that Bayer didn't think it could be held responsible for any of the lawsuits based on the fact that it wasn't carcinogenic. So how could they warn people about something that was never found in the research?
And they pointed that out in their objection to the verdict in the case, Paul. That Bayer said that basically because the government doesn't require a warning label for glyphosate, that they would have been in violation of government regulations had they put a warning label on in California, which was, I guess, one of the reasons the verdict went against them in California.
Sure, and there wasn't that anything was hidden. It just was never it was never found carcinogenic. So it was nothing that they would have been inventing something that wasn't even true. So anyway.
Obviously we'll be following this. I know I'll be working on a column for my February issue talking about this whole issue, because since this story broke, the comments, as you might imagine, pro and con glyphosate are becoming fast and furious. So, but some of the facts being pointed out in those letters, I think, will be interesting. So stay tuned and read the magazine moving forward.
Cool. What else you got?
Well, Paul, the other big story we were following all throughout 2019, of course, was the U.S.-China trade dispute. We found out in December that the two countries had agreed in principle to a phase one agreement to kind of loosen some of the restrictions here on trade. The Chinese apparently have signed that phase one agreement. And now because of that, here in January, we're expecting about 1 million metric tons of U.S. soybeans to start heading China's way tariff-free. So that's good news. And also tied to this, Paul, we found out that China has decided that there are 2 new varieties of genetically modified crops coming from the U.S. that they'll allow for importation. And they have 10 more on the table as well. So, Paul, loosening restrictions there, no tariffs on some soybeans going into the country, some progress on the China front finally.
Awesome. Just some much needed good news. Hopefully that comes through and actually impacts the farmers.
Yeah, well, we'll find out come spring, obviously. But, I mean, again, we'll see what this means. But, again, fingers crossed, maybe this is the sign that we'll actually get a firm agreement here sometime in 2020.
Good deal.
That's about all I got.
That's it? Well, I think that's plenty.
All right.
We talked a lot today,
we did.
For as much as I was thinking. This might be a 3-minute video. Anyway, I think that's it for this edition of CropLife Retail Week number 1 in 2020, and we will see you next week. If you have questions or comments about today's episode of Retail Week, contact us by email or Twitter, or type your message in the comment section below.
Your feedback is important to us. We'll try our best to address your thoughts in next week's episode.
And be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.